Hey guys, Will and J Powell Music. Be sure to like and subscribe here on the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when these episodes are coming out. Check out the links above my head, or you can go to linktree.com/J Powell Music. That's the all-in-one link to get to all my stuff. So feel free to do that. Before I get started here, I kind of had a scary moment today. I was driving in an intersection, waiting to turn left. So I was in the intersection, in the middle of it, waiting for the cars to pass on my left-hand side for me to turn. And the light is red. The light is red, but recently, if you guys haven't noticed, studies or analytics have shown ever since quarantine, accidents have skyrocketed. Even before quarantine, they've skyrocketed higher ever since people were able to drive again. So even before quarantine, the accident percentage before quarantine happened, accidents are higher now, which is kind of crazy. And for some reason, man, there's a lot of accidents that have been happening. People running red lights just recklessly, not caring about who they hit or whatever, just trying to run that red light. And I almost got hit. I had to make an aggressive turn, even though it was red. The light was red. This guy was like 50 feet, if not more, away from where he's supposed to stop. Continued to press on the gas, like just pure ignorance. And I had to swerve left. Luckily, my car didn't glide or anything. I was able to swerve and to be parallel for the car to pass and then make the left. So just very scary. Just please be careful out there. Trust no one, especially driving. You're never going to be in trouble for being too careful for the most part. And just be safe out there, guys. There's a lot of ignorant, stupid, reckless people that can kill other people and not think anything of it. So just be careful out there. So with that aside, I wanted to talk about artists that are speeding up their catalog. So this is something that I caught wind of. Originally, I caught wind of for artists doing this. The first artist was Thundercat. Thundercat, he has a sped up version of Them Changes. And I remember first seeing this. When I was using YouTube Music. Obviously, Spotify never shows me anything. I have to hunt everything down in order to find something. But it came across on my YouTube Music, and I was like, sped up. And I listened to it. Definitely a different sound, but I just prefer the regular version. It sounds like it's sped up. And then if you're asking Drill, why are artists speeding up their catalog? I think a lot of artists are trying to speed up their catalog because it's basically a different song at that point, right? The mood of it is different, the beat is different, the tone is different. Because typically when you speed something up, the pitch changes of the music as well, and that's going to create a whole different vibe, tonally, obviously sonically as well. And with that, there can potentially be an argument of, additional royalties, additional publishing. Obviously, you're probably going to have to pay back the same people that worked on the original cut of the record, because the record in its entirety is the same record. You're just altering it, right? Similar to a remix, I would say. But I find this really interesting that artists are doing this. And it's not just Thundercat. I've seen Baby Keem do some sped up versions. Steve Lacy doing a sped up version of Bad Habit, which is, and Bad Habit is his most popular song to date. The analytics are crazy on Bad Habit, but the sped up version sounds completely different, like damn near a kind of like an old school song. Like it almost sounds like it was recorded on tape or something. So very, very interesting. One of the more impressive sped up versions, I'll have to say, is from Summer Walker. she has a sped up version of her album, Last Day of Summer from 2018. I want to say this is a mixtape, but I'm not 100% certain. But the point is that this sounds really good. And Summer Walker is known to have very slow paced music. Obviously, she's an R&B artist, so that type of tone, yes, it will be a slower pace, but it's not too fast. It's just a slight upper rhythm. And then Summer Walker has a lower end voice in general. So when her songs are sped up, it just sounds like she's doing kind of a falsetto thing. So it doesn't necessarily sound overly pitched, kind of like, say, like when Kanye West, pitched up Through the Wire, right? And then obviously cut that up, put it into, Through the Wire and College Dropout. It sounds a little more natural. So a lot of these songs, like CPR sped up, sounds fantastic. It sounds awesome. So I'm very curious to see in the future for those art, and I'm assuming, I don't think artists are just doing this, right? I think for artists that own their catalog from day one, they own their publishing and all that, which is obviously a selected few because that's just how the music industry is. Sometimes you have to get your foot in the door by stepping in a bear trap. But for these artists that are doing that, I'm assuming the majority of them don't own their catalog. But imagine the type of songs we could get sped up that you would like to hear sped up. This kind of opens the door in its entirety for R&B in general, right? You have this naturally slower BPM music, and that being sped up, it almost creates into almost like a pop type of thing. Imagine, I remember on the Joe Budden podcast, we were talking about boom bap. Imagine that sped up, how those songs would sound. I would love to hear a Griselda album, probably West Side Gun, and hell, Pray for Paris sped up. I would love to hear that, right? I would love to just try it in general through Spotify, just to speed it up 1.5 or something, see how it would sound. But I think Griselda owns their stuff. Not 100% certain, but in general, I would love to see what becomes of this. Imagine like Miles Davis kind of blues sped up. I mean, obviously that is blasphemous. Blasphemous in every sense of the word, especially because Miles Davis is Miles Davis is Miles Davis, right? So but my point is, I'm very interested to see what would become of this in the future for future music, and then also what the legalities would be on the back end if obviously the label is seeing this, right? What would be the legalities of this from a label standpoint? So very interesting. Hell, it kind of makes me want to take some of my music that I've worked on, speed it up, see what it sounds like. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I wanted to bring that conversation. Let me know in the comments what you think. Also, let me know if you have a song that you would like to hear a sped up version of. Leave a comment of that. I would love to hear that because I think there's definitely a Pandora's box that might happen from this, but it might be a box worth taking a look at. So anyway, J Powell Music here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Thanks a lot.